a Canadian TV show for teenagers that's good, funny, and where every episode doesn't end in stupid moral decision making. You know what I'm talking about. Majority of kids shows, well, not kids shows, but shows for like teenagers and stuff. All the episodes seem to end with moral decision making. Show, for example, Boy Meets World. I'm sure all of you guys know that, like ABC show from the 90s. Every episode ended in making the right moral decision and learning something. I'll be reviewing season 1 of 18 to Life today, and this show is pretty unique in that it's actually realistic. The things that go on in the shows are things that actually happen, and well, aside from the actual main premise, which I'll get to in a second, but things that go on throughout the episodes are actually realistic, which I'll also get into in a second after I explain what the show's about. The show stars Michael Cedar, who you may know as Derek Venturi from Life with Derek, and Stacey Farber, who you may know as Ellie Nash from Degrassi. She played the emo girl. She was in like seasons 2 till 8-ish, I guess. She was on it for quite a while. And then he played Derek for all 4, I think it was 4 seasons. That was also a Canadian show. Both those shows were Canadian shows, but I know that especially Americans have heard of Degrassi and watched that, but I don't know about Life with Derek. So anyways, these two are dating. They have been neighbors for all their life, and they are dating. They're 18 years old, hence 18 to Life. I'm assuming it's the summer after high school because it's summer and they are 18, and that's typically when you graduate high school. So we'll just say that it's the summer after high school. Stacey Farber plays Jessie, and Michael Cedar plays Tom. Jokingly, in a park one day, Jessie says to Tom, "I dare you to ask me to marry you." And she's joking, but then Tom decides to take it seriously. He knows she's joking, but then he thinks, actually I want to do this. So he asks her to marry her, or he asks her to marry him, and she says yes. And so they're engaged, they tell their parents, and their parents live next door, because they are obviously still living with their parents, and their parents are completely different. Jessie's parents are free-spirited, they don't believe in marriage, they're just common law, and they live together, and they always have, and they don't want to get married, it's a weird kind of thing. Whereas Tom's parents are a traditional Jewish family, where Tom's father converted to Judaism when his parents got married, and so they are quite a bit different. He's a judge, and they think they're more classy than everyone else and stuff. They're not pretentious, but they see themselves as a bit more classy than Jesse's parents. So in order to deter them from getting married, they decide, hey, why don't you get married next week? Get married next week. And so then Tom and Jesse, they figure it out and they say, hey, they're trying to get us to not marry each other. So you know what? Let's get married tomorrow. So they get married. And they end up living in Tom's parents' attic. Now that's what happens. They're in season 2 right now, so hopefully it keeps going because it is a good show. They're in the middle of season 2. I think it's about to wrap up. But I'd heard of the show and I came across it on Netflix, and I watched all of season 1 and 2. There was about 10 episodes that I hadn't seen from season 2. I think they're at like episode 14 now maybe. And so I watched them all in like a week, less than that, and then I bought it on DVD. I found it on eBay, which was like crazy expensive, so then I went on Amazon, found it for $15. Now the thing about the show is it's very realistic. Tom and Jesse are like a real teenage couple in that they talk about things that couples really do. The whole show is very open about sex, whereas other teenage shows are like, no, teenagers don't have sex. Things like that that doesn't happen with younger people. No, it happens, and this show is very upfront about it. That's what I like about this show. They don't hold anything back. They don't censor themselves aside from nudity. Even then, there's an episode where Tom is completely naked, and they show everything except for his crotch, obviously. And yeah, it's a very upfront show, and I like that about it because they don't censor themselves, like I said, and it's just good because it's realistic. You can relate to the show, unlike other shows that are just always so generic and the plot lines are generic. I mean, don't get me wrong, this show does have some parts where it's just like, okay, that's kind of corny, but it's entertaining, and overall the plot of the movie or the show is good. Every episode's good. Honestly, I think there's only really been like one episode I wasn't a fan of, and it was one of the most recent ones. It was one where they went camping, and I don't know, things usually happen around the house and stuff, so I think, I don't know, it was just maybe a change of scenery kind of threw me off a little bit. So I definitely recommend checking this show out. If you're in Canada, you can watch it on CBC, and if you're in the States, you can watch it on the CW. Now for season 3, they want people to request it, I think, because it's not huge, because it's not on a really, really major network that is common. It's where TV shows like this aren't that common. So I think they really want people to like go to their Facebook page and request it and stuff like that, or write to CBC or something like that. So hopefully enough people do that so we get season 3, because it is a very good show. If you're anywhere else in the world, maybe just get the DVD. I'm sure you could watch it online, maybe find some clips on YouTube or something, and then if you like what you see, get this show. Get it on Amazon though, because eBay there's like 2 listings and they're like $40 for some reason. So you can find it on Amazon. That's where I found it. Only $15. It's a very good show. Season 1 has I don't know how many episodes, but a dozen or more. There's just over a dozen episodes. So it's a good show. Check it out. I'll be back next week.